Okay, so let's begin. Okay, we'll still be doing our usual warm-up first. So let's just march in the spine while I let more people in. Okay, so still gently curving and then extending our spine. So it's kind of starting the neck. Okay, move just each segment a little bit at a time. So kind of feel your entire spine rounding a little bit as you breathe out. Okay, and feel your entire spine kind of extending as you breathe in. Okay, so we're generally pretty good at moving our necks and also our low back. Sometimes we're not very good at moving our mid back, upper back. Okay, so see if you can feel, kind of bring your chest a little bit higher up. Okay, feel your mid back muscle tightening a little bit as you kind of raise your chest up towards the ceiling. Okay, and side to side, you're just going to open up. Okay, palms facing outwards, elbows kind of straight, and just kind of glance behind you, side to side. Just keep going. Okay, a little bit of side bending. Okay, so we'll have one arm out. Okay, and you're just going to open up one way. Sorry, actually one direction. Same direction as your hands. Okay, so open and closing. Okay, and just kind of tilt your head side to side if you feel okay with that. If you makes it feel dizzy, just move your arms. Okay, you can kind of move. So both my head and my fingers are pointing in the same kind of direction. Okay, maybe just 3 to 5 times. Okay, and you can just repeat on the same thing on the other side. So open up, this is my left side. I'm leading my head towards my left. Okay, and then bring it back to my neck, and my neck is going the same direction again. Okay, and let's try to go backwards a little bit. So you're just going to try to push your head back a little bit. Push back, put your shoulders slightly back. Okay, standing taller. Okay, and you can just kind of contract and relax a few times. So the goal is to put your head on top of your shoulders and then your shoulders on top of your hips. Okay, while looking straight forward. Okay, and let's shake everything out a little bit. Okay, a little bit of spinal rotation. Okay, might be easier if you stop your feet. Okay, relax your shoulders. Okay, and let's open the shoulders a little bit more. So hands behind the pelvis or the low back. Keep breathing in, shoulders back, chest forward or chest up. You can lightly press your hand into your pelvis. Okay, and just contract and relax again. Okay, and let's just try to reach backwards, okay, and then reach upwards. Okay, slowly increasing the range of motion that you're going through. So try to reach a little further back. Okay, try to reach a little higher up. Okay, so I'm just trying to let more people in, so you don't have to move forward and back. Okay, see if you maintain the same posture as you reach up and back. Okay, so as you reach back, try not to round. As you reach up, try not to overarch your back either. Just try to move your shoulders a little bit more instead. Okay, a little bit harder. You're going to reach back. Okay, and see if you can just slightly kind of reach up your back. Okay, so don't try too hard for this one. Okay, as you reach up, see if you can reach behind your neck. Try to get your elbows up. Okay, so from the back, you're trying to kind of reach up a little bit. Try to get your arm maybe slightly away from your trunk. Okay, once again, just take this easy. Don't try too hard. Maybe just one last time. Okay, and once again, shaking out. Okay, and relaxing shoulders, just rotating your arm. Okay, couple of seconds each direction. Okay, now reach inwards, one arm at a time. So it's my right hand towards my left side. I'm trying to squeeze my arm into my body. Okay, I'm not trying to overly twist my spine. Okay, I'm trying to rotate from my top of my shoulders as well, or top of my arm. Okay, so this is my left arm going to my right. Okay, once again, I'm trying to compress my arm into my body a little bit. Okay, going upwards. Okay, trying to get my arm a little bit closer to my ear. You just work with what we have, thumbs facing back. Okay, and same thing on the other side, trying to move from the base of the arm. Okay, and come back, shake it off again. Okay, so make a kind of OK sign with the fingers, thumb and index finger. Okay, try to turn your wrist up. Okay, and we drop it back down. Okay, so you're trying to rotate your arm, rotate your wrist, so that your wrist and your palm is kind of facing upwards. Okay, we're going to add the entire arm, so I'm going to try to reach, rotate. Okay, you're trying to point your fingers back, elbows forward. Okay, and you're just going to bring it back across. Okay, but still try to turn your wrist so that it's facing upwards. Try to push it back a little bit more. Elbows facing kind of forward almost. Okay, you might feel a little bit of tingling in your ring finger and pinky. Okay, we're going to go back other way. So I'm going to reach in the armpits, reaching down. So the wrist this time is facing kind of outwards. Okay, you might feel a stretch in the back of the forearm, back of the hand. Okay, raise it up a little bit. Okay, rotates back. Okay, and repeat. Okay, so we're going to reach in the armpits, kind of bring up a little bit. Okay, and then kind of rotate your arm, I guess. Good. Okay, and just relaxing the elbows and the shoulders, just the wrists, okay, and also the hand and the fingers. So try to draw as big of a circle as you can using your entire hand and wrist. Okay, same thing in the opposite direction. Okay, kind of rotate each finger a little bit. Okay, try to pull it towards the back of the hand. Okay, and open and closing the hand, open and closing the tips of the fingers. Okay, maybe side to side a few times. Okay, and then shake everything out. Okay, onto the hips and lower body. We're just going to relax the upper body, go into the hip circles now. Okay, so upper body kind of relax. Try to draw a bigger circle with the hips. Okay, once again, move just through your pain-free range. Okay, if anything hurts, just avoid those areas. Maybe a little, the spine might be kind of side bending a little bit. Okay, working on our hip hinge pattern. So we're moving from the hip joints, okay, mostly. Maybe a little bit of bend in the knees, back relatively straight as well. Okay, so we're just going to go back and forth. Imagine kind of reaching down, okay, by pushing your hips back, feeling a little bit of stretch behind your thighs, behind your knees. maybe 3 to 5 times again. So give your back rounds a little bit, but try to keep a longer spine in general. Okay, go in the opposite direction, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Space it out for balance. Okay, lift the front of your belt buckle up. Drive the heel backwards into the ground. Feel the light squeeze in your glute muscles. Okay, and you're just going to kind of contract and relax again. Okay, so try to keep a squeeze and keep engaging your hip muscles. Okay, so keep driving that heel into the ground. Keep trying to lift the front of your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Okay, and kind of just slide your pelvis forward and back a few times. Okay, and just shake it off and then repeat on the other side. Okay, so once again, same thing. Okay, pelvis, front of the pelvis up, heels down towards the ground. Okay, contract and relax. I'm trying to keep my glute muscle, my butt muscles a little bit tight. Okay, by driving my heels into the ground. Maybe a little bit of stretch in the back of the calves or the heels. Okay, and coming back out again. Okay, let's swing our legs front to back, holding on to something as necessary. Okay, try to move from the hips. Okay, so I'm not rounding or extending my back too much. Okay, try to really move a little bit more from the hips. Squeeze my hip muscles, butt muscles. I try to drive the heels back. Okay, exaggerate motions a little bit. Try to bring your knee up a little higher. Okay, and try to bring our heel a little bit higher. Okay, maybe a little bit slower. Then we're just kind of free swinging our leg. And when you're ready, just the same thing on the other side. Okay, once again, try to squeeze your hip muscles as you drive your heels back. Okay, and then exaggerate the motions a little bit. Okay, by bringing the knee a little higher and bring the heel a little higher up. Okay, let's go on to the squatting pattern. Okay, so feet still shoulder width apart, toes slightly apart. Okay, still bending from the hips, so you're still pushing hips back. Okay, but this time just bend your knees a little bit more. Have your knees kind of hovering over your feet. Okay, so this will be too far in, this will be too far out. Okay, just over our feet. Okay, and you're just going to stand up and down a few times. Okay, only go as low as your knees can comfortably tolerate. So set your hips back, feet flat on the ground. Okay, if you want to, you can, of course, go a little bit lower. Okay, spine still longer. Okay, so we're gonna hold a slightly lower position. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of rotation. So when you breathe in, okay, and kind of look one way. Okay, because the hips are kind of locked in place by our legs. This way, mostly kind of a spine rotation. Okay, so make sure your spine is nice and long. Okay, that will help with the rotation. Okay, thighs probably a little tight, so let's stand back up for a second. I'll let this in. Okay, so let's go side to side. Once again, hold on to something if you need to. Okay, so swing side to side. Okay, it might be easier if you have a chair or something or a wall to hold on to. Okay, and once again, we're going to exaggerate the motion by bringing the inside edge of our foot up. Okay, and try to push the outside edge up as well, so toes pointing forward. Okay, once again, try to maintain a taller posture throughout. Okay, both hips might be getting a little tired. Okay, and same thing on the other side when you're ready. Okay, and just try to imagine lifting something up with the outside and inside edge of our foot. Okay, standing leg has to work to keep ourselves stable as well. Okay, and once again, shake things out. Okay, just moving the knees a little bit more. So try to bring your heel a little bit higher up if it's not painful for you. Okay, and then rocking kind of front to back on our ankles. Okay, also the heels and toes. Okay, try to press through different parts of the different toes. So try to press through your big toe a little bit, maybe the middle toes outside a little bit. So just slightly different angles as you rock back and forth. Okay, and side to side a little bit. Also moving, tilting the ankles a little bit. Okay, and then just a full circle. So once again, hold on to something as necessary. Okay, and lastly, just wiggle your toes. Lift your toes off the ground. Spread your toes if you're able. Okay, and shake everything else. Okay, so that was the warm up. Okay, so let's go into our 10-minute session or set. Okay, so start at any point if you feel unwell, feel free to stop, take a break, or slow down in general. Okay, our goal is just to get our heart rate a little bit faster, kind of 10 minutes at a time. But we don't need to push ourselves to fatigue all the time. Okay, so still starting relatively slowly. Okay, just increase the pace as you feel comfortable. So I'm just going to increase my own pace a little bit, but I didn't really sleep well last night, so I might choose not to push myself as much today, and you can monitor your own condition as well. Okay, so we're just going to tap in different directions to start with. So we're just going to tap, change from a march to a tap. Okay, just go inside the side. Okay, you can reach in the opposite direction. Okay, try to open up the palm a little bit as well. Okay, so I'm doing opposite hand and leg at the moment. You can make it harder by trying to reach a little further away. Okay, or just going a little bit faster. Okay, so our heart doesn't exactly know what we're doing. It just knows how much oxygen the body is asking it to kind of pump around. Okay, so as long as you can move multiple muscle parts at the same time, as long as you get your heart pumping a little faster, that's good enough already. Okay, let's go forward and back. So this time it'll be both arms. Actually, I'll still try to do opposite arms and legs. Okay, so kind of just reaching forward with the hands, reaching backwards with the heels. Still see if you can feel a little bit of squeeze in your glute muscles as you bring your leg back. Okay, so this time we're going to do cross body. Okay, so the leg is going to reach kind of behind the other leg. Okay, same side arm is also going to reach across as well. Okay, so you're going to feel your body weight shifting side to side as you alternate between the two sides. Okay, so one foot behind the other and also reaching across the midline. Okay, if you want to, you can do a bigger range. Okay, but you can also just do a small tap behind. Okay, just for safety reasons. So go by what feels comfortable and safe for yourself. Okay, back to a munch. Adjust the pace as you see fit. Okay, next one similar. We're going to, instead of crossing the leg behind, we're going to just cross in front. Okay, also maybe same side arm, reaching to the same direction. Okay, and once again, you're just reaching across. Okay, you can just do a tap in front. Okay, or you can just do, or you can also do a bigger cross step. Okay, or even just move your arms. Okay, anything that can get your heart rate up a little bit. Get it, kind of maintain it for kind of 10 minutes at a time. Okay, use this time as an active break, so you can either slow down but keep moving in some ways, okay, or you can choose to go faster or maintain the same pace. Okay, let's reach upwards this time. Okay, bring our knees up as well. Could be, let's go back to cross body, so right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Okay, so reaching upwards. Okay, if you want, add a little bit of a hop as well, so go a little bit on your toes. Get a little bit of a bounce. Five more seconds. Okay, next one, just a combination of up and sideways. Okay, so that's just a jumping jack motion. Okay, arms moving like this, one leg kicking out. Okay, and everything come back together at the bottom. Okay, so okay, still not necessarily a big range. Okay, elbows to shoulder height probably is safer for most people, especially if you choose to move fast. Okay, we're going to do up and forward. So both arms reaching forward, up, leg kicking back. If you can, lift the heel, leg off the ground as well. So we just be reaching forward and up, leg kicking back. Try to lift it off the ground a little bit if you feel comfortable. Okay, once again, elbow to shoulder height. It's probably good for most people. Okay, no need to go very, very high up if you, especially if you know your shoulders have problems. Okay, and once again, adjust your pace Okay, so it's a slightly uncomfortable but manageable kind of pace. Should still be able to kind of talk, say a short sentence. Okay, so let's go into kind of a squatting motion. So when we start the marching, okay, we're just going to go into a mini squat, back up and reaching upwards. Okay, so squatting down slightly, reaching up, going onto our toes slightly. Start off with just a small bend in the knees. Remember to push your hips back. Okay, lower the hips more, less on the knees. Okay, if you want, you can drop down a little bit more. Okay, a little bit harder on your thighs. Okay, a couple more seconds. Okay, so last minute to go. Okay, still trying to take a deep breath in and out. Okay, try to still breathe into a diaphragm or kind of the belly area. Okay, kind of last round. Let's just go a little bit faster. Okay, cool. So your toes can be stay on the ground. Just the heels pumping if you want to. Okay, or you can actually go into a jog, a light jog if you want to. Okay, move arms a little bit quicker. Okay, your breaths might have to be a little bit kind of shorter, kind of multiple quick breaths. Okay, and that was 10 minutes, so let's slow back down. Okay, but keep your feet moving in some ways again. Okay, let's just for practice, let's try this feel pulse. Okay, so once again, how hard your heart is working is really based, not based on if you're sweating or not. It's really based on how fast your heart is pumping. Okay, so you can use a watch, of course, if kind of count the pulse for you. You can also manually feel it. So let's just kind of find the bone on the thumb side of the wrist. Okay, go down towards the middle a little bit. There's a little bit of a channel here, a little bit of a dip here. Okay, if you just lightly kind of feel that area, you should be able to feel your pulse. Okay, you can also try different arms. Sometimes some people's pulse is a little bit stronger on one side compared to the other. Okay, so we can kind of just count how many times it beats in about 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. See if you can kind of feel your pulse and see how many times it beats. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, start counting. Stop. Okay, so whatever number you got, multiply that number by 6. Okay, that's how many beats per minute that your heart is kind of beating. Okay, so it's normal, it's kind of necessary, it's normal for your heart rate to increase as you do exercise. Okay, and you can kind of manage your intensity by seeing how fast it is beating. Okay, so it takes a little bit of practice, okay, but it's not a bad idea to know how to do that. Okay, so let's take a break. So right now it's 9:59. Let's come back at 10:01. We're going to be using the towels. Okay, so if you have 2 towels, you can grab that. We might be trying out just two arm stuff. Okay, but if you have 1 towel, that's also good. That's fine as well. Okay, so let's get ready. Okay, so let's get start off kind of marching. Okay, just realized how funny it looks, kind of holding two thumbs. Okay, but let's start off slow again. So it's totally fine if you just one. You just want to try to see. You can do some coordination stuff where you have two, but you can just do kind of one side at a time. Okay, maybe just a little bit faster. Okay, and next one, we are just going to be kind of drumming a little bit faster. Okay, so both arms a little bit faster, and up and down. Definitely a little bit harder on the grip. And my earphone keeps falling out of my view. Okay, so second one, same as we usually do, just warming up our shoulders to go upwards. Okay, so we're just going to fling both sides up, okay, both sides down. Okay, while let's also take a step forward as well. Okay, so as you fling it up, you're just going to take a step forward. Okay, so you kind of forgot to ask everyone to, of course, check your surroundings. Okay, once again, elbows to shoulder height is probably safest for most people, at least to start with. Okay, and back to the marching. Okay, so you can always relax your grip a little bit. Okay, as you need to. Okay, so next one, we are going to be kind of swinging it side to side. Okay, and let's try to take a step out as well. Okay, so we just side to side while you are moving your arms side to side as well. Okay, once again, shoulder to roughly elbow to shoulder height. Okay, so definitely a little bit more challenging for the grip when we're holding kind of two fake towels. Excuse me. Okay, so this time, let's just try to use our feet a little bit more. Okay, or you can go between your legs, or you can just go towards the side. I think someone just started sharing for some reason. Okay, so let me keep going while I stop this. Okay, so I should be back. Okay, so going up and down. Okay, just go into a tall squat. Okay, so Irene, can you stop not share your screen? Okay. Okay, and kind of go back to the marching. Okay, next one, we are a little bit complicated. We're going to cross. Okay, come back out. Cross your arms. Okay, this is actually a little bit harder. Okay, so we go a little bit slower. Okay, just think of this as a little bit of coordination. Okay, so you kind of cross. It might be easier if you just kind of cross this way. It might be a little bit easier. So just crossing arms, kind of change which arm is forward. Okay, and relaxing for a second. Okay, so next one, let's just do the same thing, just across. Okay, and we're gonna do kind of lean towards one side a little bit again. So maybe add a little bit of force as you go down. Imagine you're chopping something down. Okay, so hardest thing definitely is starting for me, at least starting to feel my grip. So I'm going to just relax it for a second. Yeah, I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so once again, chopping something down. Okay, maybe just a little bit more force on the way down if you want to. A little tiring on my shoulders, the back of my upper arm a little bit. Okay, and definitely a little bit taxing on my grip. Okay, so next one, let's just do a little bit of a kind of across. So you can go across this way. Okay, so probably stop your feet. Okay, you can kind of separate arms a little bit more. Okay, kind of play around with which arm is going forward. Okay, so I notice my right arm is always the front arm. Okay, so kind of play around that a little bit. Okay, last one. Let's just try this out. I'm not sure if this never exactly works out, but let's give it a try. So I'm going to make this a little longer. Okay, and I'm just going to shake it more quickly. Okay, let's try. Again, just be a little gentle with this one in your shoulders. Use legs up. 5 more seconds, about a couple more seconds. Okay, and let's slow back down. Okay, so didn't quite work out as I intended. With the 2 towels, okay, I was trying to do more. Ideally, you can kind of do different things with both arms, so you can separate the arms. Okay, so a little bit of left and right brain training, but I might need to rethink the movements a little bit so that the arms can do different things. Okay, so let's pause for a second. Okay, so let's take a 2-minute break. So right now it's 10:11. Let's come back around 10:13. Okay, if you want to do the first set. So I was just trying to emulate a lot of the movements with the mazes. A little bit different because, of course, these things are kind of solid instead of the tiles, which is a little bit kind of more loose. So it's hard to emulate some of the movements here. But sometimes people might do a little bit of some coordination where they might do something different for each arm. But I'll try to kind of figure something out maybe for next time. Okay, so let's move on to our final set. Okay, so second set probably be a little easier, more taxing on the upper body. But for the final set, if you want, of course, you can pick up intensity again. Okay, let's keep it simple. We'll just move front and back. Okay, make sure the ground is not slippery when you're moving backwards, especially. Okay, check your surroundings first. Okay, so kind of keeping up a slightly quicker pace. Just moving back and forth. Okay, next, just side to side. Okay, take multiple small steps. Or you can do fewer bigger steps. If you want, you can swing your arms side to side as you go back and forth. Okay, so just moving with smaller steps first. Okay, when you feel comfortable, do almost like a side shuffle. Okay, do it at a pace, the speed that you feel comfortable, safe doing. Okay, we're going to combine the two. So instead of, we're going to side shuffle almost diagonally. Okay, so don't turn your hips to face the same direction. Try to go diagonally forward, diagonally back, okay, and maybe just kind of keep reaching forward as you shuffle forward as well. Okay, so we go back. Okay, you can change arm a little bit as you change direction. Okay, so this feels a little different. Okay, you can also, let's also switch direction a little bit. Okay, probably feet might be a little tired, or these feel like it's working a little harder because you're kind of changing directions. Okay, let's bring arms up. Okay, really just bring our handstand, kind of meet our knees, because we're bringing knees upwards as well. Okay, and you can switch between the two. Okay, so kind of move around a little bit if you want to. Okay, whatever feels natural for you. Okay, maybe slight kind of engagement in the ab muscles, kind of very slightly. Okay, so let's do the sumo kind of walk. So we're going to go into a mini squat. Okay, so, and then you're going to walk forward while reaching forward, and then go kind of front to back. The lower you go, the harder it is on your thighs. Okay, so adjust the difficulty according to your own body. Okay, probably hardest in your thighs. Okay, still stick your bum out or bum back. Okay, and coming back up, shaking things off a little bit. Okay, next one, maybe turn slightly sideways. Okay, you're going to be only moving one leg. Okay, so you're going to be at the start of tapping forward, tapping back with one leg. If you feel comfortable, lift the knee up as well. Okay, so be kind of tapping forward and back. Just do whatever you need to do to stay balanced. Okay, when you feel comfortable, see if you can bring the knee up a little higher. Okay, if you feel comfortable, you can add almost a little bit of a kick at the end. Just a kind of a flick forward, doesn't have to be very hard. Okay, it's a standing leg, standing hip. That's probably getting a little bit fatigued. And kind of catching our breath again. Okay, and then we're just going to switch sides. Okay, so it'll be a slight turn, slightly sideways. Okay, once again, a couple of steps. You can, the easiest will be tapping the floor, a little harder, lift the knee up. Hardest, maybe add a little bit of flick at the end. Okay, so just start off kind of a tap. Okay, if you want to, bring the knee up a little higher. A little bit harder to balance this way. Okay, if you want, add a little bit of a flick forward. Okay, so you'll be spending more time standing on one leg this way. So even harder for the stabilizing hip. Okay, on to rotation. So kind of reaching, feet is not going to be moving. You're just going to be reaching side to side. Okay, smaller motions. Okay, kind of reaching maybe just to shoulder to shoulder distance. Okay, but turn, make sure your feet is turning out kind of forward. Outwards at the beginning, turn your hips. Okay, so toes pointing out, turn your feet, turn your feet. So should maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width. So turn your lower body a little bit as you reach side to side. Okay, so don't twist your knees. Okay, just make sure you're turning the trailing leg, I guess you can call it, to the same direction as your arms. Okay, last one, same idea, but this time hands together. Okay, this time definitely in between your shoulder blade distance. Your feet is not going to be turning as much. You could be just turning your pelvis a little bit more. Feet more or less stays in place with a little bit of a turn. Okay, you're a little bit more engagement in the trunk muscles. Okay, so you're just kind of bouncing back and forth. Okay, if you feel comfortable, see if you can maybe shorten distance a little bit, and then maybe go a little bit quicker. Okay, slight squatting stance. Okay, you need to take shorter breaths in, shorter breaths out. Okay, and slowing back then. Okay, so just for practice, let's try to catch our heart rate again. Okay, just don't be too, you don't have to worry too much about it. If you can't feel it, just do your best. Okay, just think of this as practice. Okay, so find your pulse first. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, start counting. Stop. Okay, so whatever number you got, multiply that by 6, okay, to get your number of heartbeats per minute. Okay, you can compare that to another day, for example. So some days you might find you do the same thing, but your pulse is quicker. Okay, so if you're more tired or more fatigued that day, that might happen. As you keep doing the same things over and over, you might find your heart doesn't have to pump as fast. So that's in a way a sign of improvements. But in general, you can, it's almost set a target for yourself. So if you, let's say you've been always doing exercise at about 90 beats per minute, maybe you can set one day, okay, I'm trying to push it up to be 95, just a little bit quicker, see how that feels. Okay, so let's do, we're behind on time today, so let's do just the 2 basic stretch. Okay, one the hip, one the lower leg. So actually, let's just maybe do just the one of the calves. Okay, it's 9:25 already. Okay, but just find ways to elevate your toes compared to heels. Okay, and just feel a stretch in the back of the calves, back of the heels. Okay, and just switch sides. Okay, so I don't want to keep everyone, so maybe spend a little more time in certain areas that you feel a little tight in. But otherwise, thank you for coming. See everyone next time. Bye. Bye.